Hello there. Today we're going to make a nice breakfast, mainly from the stuff we got from the farm. So we're going to make up some tatty scones. Slight variant. Now look, some people like to use eggs, some use butter. We're going to make them with butter in today. So I've got about a pound of potatoes that I've just put through a ricer. You can mash them with a masher if you like. Let's say 500 grams. The ratio you want is about 1 to 4. So for each flour, you want 4 parts mash. So there's 125 grams or a quarter of a pound of self-raising flour. Good pinch of nice sea salt. Now, you could use chives or spring onions or whatever. I've gone to the garden and nicked off the wife's onion plants, just some onion tops. And there's a tiny bit of fresh rosemary from the garden in there. So we're just going to mix all this together lightly. Like so, and then we're just going to put in, there's about an ounce or 25 grams of melted butter. There we go. So I'm just going to mix these together until they come to a nice ball. Okay, so that's been worked into a nice ball. You don't want to do it too much. Lightly flour the surface. Take your tatty scone. We're just going to give it a light knead, not too much, just to make sure everything's nicely mixed. Maybe you don't want to do it too much. Now I want square scones because of what I'm doing. So I'm going to kind of work that into a square and just gently roll it out. Some people like a fat scone, some people like a skinny one. We're going to go for about, I don't know, 3 millimeters, something like that. There we go. It's about 1/2 centimetre there, so just take it a bit thinner. Nice and simple. These measurements aren't exact, you know. Just, you can't be asked to weigh it out just the way you go. Okay, so I'm going to get a knife now and we'll cut that. We're looking at about, I suppose, 4 millimetres. Just trimming off the edges. You can rework those together. There we go. I'm going to cut there. Now, because I'm going to do sausages, I'm going to open them out. I think I'll cut them into 3. No, 2. There we go. Now we'll just let these rest up a bit while I get on with some other stuff. So in the pan that we melted our butter in, I've left a little bit in there on purpose because I want to use it now. I'm just going to take 2 tomatoes and I'm going to cut across in them about halfway down, a little less than halfway down, because we want it to open up. So just let it have a little rub round in that butter and pop it on our air fryer tray. Again, cut the other one. Sausages we're using are Rannachy sausages. Now I'm having the haggis one because I really like them. The wife's having the beef one because she's boring. They're really good sausages though. I really recommend. They're both really good, but the haggis one is really special. Okay, so let's put those on there. Now we're going to go in with a good hit of black pepper. This is your spice. Wallop, have some of that. Some nice freshly ground salt. Always use sea salt if you can. Now going with the butter that's in there, I'm just going to toss these sausages in there, give them a little bit of a coating, just to help them cook a bit. So say, Maria's got the beefy, I've got the haggis ones. A word about the salt. The difference between sea salt and manufactured salt. Sea salt is basically seawater spread on rocks, dried out, scraped off, put in a container. There you go, 100% natural. Chemical salt, or salt is made in a factory out of chemicals and a mechanical process. Do you really want to be putting that in your body? Anyway, that's my opinion. So these are going to go in the air fryer as is, 200 degrees. After about 8 minutes, I'm going to turn the sausages over, but we won't turn the tomatoes because I actually want them to burn a little bit on top. No colour, no flavour. So they're off to the fryer now. Right, so cooking the tatty scones. Just show you this, by the way. This is pot of boiling water. We're going to make it into acidulated water. Posh, eh? Just we're going to drop some vinegar in there. And that helps the whites of the eggs contract. And adds a little bit of flavour. Point of controversy here, when you're learning about food and that, it says never put salt in the water for a poached egg because it makes the egg cook funny. Yeah, all right, they're probably right, but I like the taste. So I put salt in mine. You choose whether you want to or not. It's up to you. So, cooking of the tatty scones. Healthiest way would be to use an extra virgin rapeseed oil or olive oil or something, even a light vegetable oil. I've opted for dripping because it does make a difference to the flavour. So we're gently melting some dripping in the pan. That'll take a minute or two. Okay, that's the dripping melted. Going to go on with the tatty scones. Get it off the thing. One. The other ones I've popped in the fridge. What I'll do is I'll wrap those later and I'll freeze them. Just defrost them and cook them. Or you can cook them and then freeze them. Entirely down to you. Gently, gently going to cook these. Give it, say, 3 or 4 minutes. Then I'm going to turn them over. There we go. That's been about 3 minutes. Just going to use this to flip those over. Leave them cooking for another bit. Now, poached eggs. There's lots of myths and that about poached eggs. Basically, you're cooking an egg by submerging it in acidulated water. So, got a whole pot of water. We don't want it really, really heavily bubbling too much. So we just let that die down a bit. I've broken the eggs into little cups because we want to gently lower them in. These are Rannachy's own eggs. Look at the colour of them yolks. These are the large ones. Use small or extra large, whatever you want. Gently, gently pop that in there. Get the other one. Gently, gently. You don't want to go throwing it in because it will make the albumin or the whites go. So that's that. Now we turn the heat back up and just let them simmer till they're cooked. Okay, they're cooked, so I'm just going to take them out, put them on this bit of paper for a little while. Come on, who don't want to eat one of them? Okay, now the eggs are still cooking. They're going to be about another, oh, they're nearly there, just about another minute. And take the sausages out of the fryer. This is what I love about their sausages. Look at them. They always cook up like that. How gorgeous is that? And a nice bit of colour on the tomatoes. So I'm just going to cut these down the middle to serve them. So that's the eggs cooked. To take them out, all we do is you take a clean tea towel. Just drain the egg. Flop it down that way. Drain the egg. Plop it on there. We'll lose that pan, and now we'll start to serve up. Right, to serve. Tomato on the plate. Take the tatty scone. Make that next to it. I'll tell you what, I've just cut that beef sausage open. I know I said boring, but oh, blimey, the smell. Take your sausages, cut them in half, pop them on there. That's why I wanted the tatty scone square. The inside of them egg sponge, beautiful. Stonking sausages. There we go. Then we take our poached egg. We're just going to pop that on top there. Like so. There we go. I will just make a tiny bit of fresh cut parsley. And there you have it. Not really that healthy, but very tasty. I'll cut one of these open just to show you the yolk. There we go. And then I'll get some photographs.